Hello everyone, hope you're doing well. Today we are once again on the first dev server for update Ixwa Strike, and this is the Centurion Mk.5, the Royal Australian Armoured Corps Centurion. This is going to be the top prize on the Season 2 of the Battle Pass. Remember, the Battle Pass is starting on the 24th of this month, so you'll be able to see this vehicle pretty soon. You'll be able to get it at level 75 of the Battle Pass. You will have to purchase the Battle Pass in order to have access to it, just to let you know. And overall, this is just an upgraded Centurion Mk.5. It has quite a lot of nice features to it. The actual model itself is really lovely. And on the internals, you can see it does have the standard Centurion crew of the 4-man, 3 in the turret, 1 in the driver's position. Also has a ton of ammo around the place, and the engine in the back, which is a very large engine indeed. The engine itself has it's the same engine as the Cent Mk.3, at least modeled in game right now, but it's 1,197 kilos heavier for some reason. I'm sure it'll have a bit more power to it when it comes later on. It has access to the 84mm or the 20-pounder Mark 1 cannon, has the same shells as the Centurion Mk.3, and also has access to the stabilizer and also the same reload speed. So nothing really changes when it comes to the general characteristics of this gun and also how it's going to fire. Another thing that is unique about this vehicle is it does have some 30 cals. So you can see it has the 2 guns, one coaxially mounted and one on the top as well, which is really nice to see. The guns themselves, it has 2 30s, so 2 7.62s, and also a 50 caliber gun. You can actually see in this position right next to the gun, if I can show you, that it has 2 right next to each other. And I'm guessing the 50 cal is similar to what you find on the Chieftain. It's probably a ranging gun for the Hesh or something like that. Or maybe it's just a standard 50 cal actually. It might just be a standard 50 cal. Right now in the mission that I'm playing, it is actually filled with some ammunition, which is quite nice. And also it has an IR lamp. As a rank 4 modification for the machine, it has driver, gunner, commander IRs. So you won't just get it for the gunner, you won't just get it for the commander, but also the driver will be able to see green, which is quite cool. It also has a bunch of different decoration additions to it. Obviously in the back compartment, so you can see a bunch of different drums, and then on the back you have a ton of jerry cans just to make sure you never run out of fuel, even though that never happens in War Thunder anyway. Generally, when we look at this vehicle, the stats are very similar to other Centurions that we have in the game. It should have a little bit of upper glacis armor. You can see the 2 wheels on the front, but also that extra plate that they sit on should give you a little bit of extra protection compared to the Mk.3. It also has really nice gun depression and also many other nice little factors, and as I said, including some interesting rounds as well. The optics aren't the best, but they normally aren't on these British tanks. You know, it would be nice to have a little bit more zoom, but what you do have to understand is the APDS that these machines use does have really good muzzle velocity, so therefore it doesn't matter too much that your optics aren't great because of how fast your shell actually flies through the air. I'm actually really happy to see this machine. Seeing Australia be represented even more in the game is a big positive. It seems like with this update we have a lot of different nations being quite highly represented, or at least a little bit represented. Austria, with of course the SK-105. We have the Centurion Mk.5 here for Australia. We had the Matilda Hedgehog last Battle Pass, and then also all of the South African vehicles. It's really nice to see that a ton of different nations are getting a little bit of love instead of the main nations which normally get it in the game. Also, on top of the Centurion Mk.5, there is a ton of really cool factors for it. So the first one is that the tech tree itself at 7.3 This thing right now sits at rank 5, battle rating 7.3. Remember, it is also a premium, just like all the other Battle Pass vehicles, so it has a reward multiplier of 1.9 on it, which is pretty high, and also a repair cost of only 4,300 in realistic, so it's really going to be one which should be able to print a sell for you pretty handedly. But the fact that it's at 7.3, you already have a killer lineup for the British at that BR. The Centurion Mark 3, the Carnarvon, then the Centurion Action X if you have the premium, and then also on top of that the STRV premium if you have that from before. And then on top of that as well, the FV4202, the FV4005, also the Conway if you want to throw that in. 7.3 is a really nice BR for the British, and also 7.7 is a really nice BR too. Both of these BRs work incredibly well for the British vehicles, and just seeing more vehicles added to them is going to make them even stronger. And Britain is getting a lot over this period of time. You know, it's getting all the South African stuff, which is also going to bolster those lineups. I believe one of the Rattles is actually at 7.3 with the Milan. So you even have a light tank to push along with the Centurion Mark 5. It's just a really good time to play Britain right now, and I'm very happy to be able to, you know, enjoy it and have a good time with it. And I think with this machine being a Battle Pass vehicle, even though, you know, you do have to pay, hopefully they keep the same price, you know, 2,000 GE for the Battle Pass itself, or maybe even if it's 2,500, I still think it's definitely worth it to be able to pick up 4 solid premium vehicles along with this one, which already in the game has a proven track record with the Centurion Mark 3 and also the Centurion Mark 5, which have only benefited from buffs recently in the form of APDS buffs when it comes to large caliber weaponry, and also other buffs such as stabilizers and the other ones such as the volumetric shells, which means the little areas on top of the Centurion, especially the turrets, make it a lot harder to penetrate. Instead of going through specific pixels, you have to go through a general set amount, which is not as easy to do. This has improved the British tanks severely over the last period of time, and it's only set to make them even more meta-defining, which is something they've been for a long time. There is a reason why the Carnarvon went up. There is a reason why machines such as the Centurion Mark III keep going up. It's because of the fact that they're just really strong in their own regards. And the Centurion Mark V is going to be no different to that. No matter the fact that it has this extra little piece of weight, it is still going to be very strong, even as a primary vehicle to use or as a support vehicle to use. And the fact it just has that little extra bit of the IR lamp, which I doubt it will ever have to use, if I'm honest with you, just because of the fact that you won't get many night battles at this BR. It still means that, you know, if you ever do run into them, let's say on a map like Ground Zero or something, you'll still be able to do something. You won't just be left in the dark like many other tanks are. I'm very much looking forward to this one. After grinding out the first Battle Pass, I am definitely looking forward to the second one and all of the new vehicles, decorations and everything that it brings. And this, being the main reward, is just the cherry on the top. I hope you all have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next time. I'd just like to thank Teddy, John Ryman, Universe, Conte Baraka, Trigger Hippie, Eugens Terry, Ambrosius McClellan, Daniel Stanton, Martinez, B. Young, Hosest Kishore, Hans, Bareen, and Samuel Schlick for supporting the channel.